Hey everybody, it's Jason Collins with Gunnature.com. Today we're going to be talking about a little hack that I came up with for this cheap Chinese lockpick set. Now some of you may have seen these on eBay or Amazon. They're all over the place, and basically they haven't gotten the best reputation in the lock sport community. In fact, a lot of people have referred to them as novelties, and I think they're a little bit better than that. Now, there are two different versions of these, and like things from China, you have to be really careful about what you're getting and make sure that you're covering your bases on that. One of the problems with them is one variation is perfectly matched. It's 23 thousandths, and the other variation that's out there is quite a bit thicker, and I believe it's made out of some different metal. 31 thousandths is far too big. The edges are very rough on it, and the other one is thinner, 23 thousandths, and smoother. And 23 thousandths, coincidentally, is actually the same thickness as the standard Sparrow's picks. They measure out to be 23 thousandths. So anyway, one variation of the Chinese picks are way too thick, and they're really roughly cut, and honestly not very useful for what you would want them for. 31 thousandths is just absolutely too big to be useful for much at all. Which brings us to the 23 thousandths picks. Now, what you get in the pack is you get 4 tools as well as a tensioning tool, and it's designed for, it's actually kind of ingeniously designed. This will work top of keyway, bottom of keyway. It's actually a pretty useful tool. Definitely not my go-to tensioning tool, but it will work in a wide variety of locks. The tools that you get with the set are your standard city rake or L rake, and as you can see, this is pretty much an exact replica of the Sparrows, which is that, you know, there's not a lot of variation on these things. It's a simple design, and it works quite well. You get the L rake, city rake. You also get the standard rake, or the snake rake, I guess is what this is called. I've used this a lot over the years. It used to be the go-to rake for most people before the introduction of the Bogota, but this is still a very, very useful pick. And then you also get their variation of a hook. And I don't know if you can see, but this is kind of a unique hook in that it has a flat angled part here. This has actually become one of my favorite tools after having done the hack that I'm going to tell you guys about here in just a moment. But it works really, really well. It's thick enough. These are made out of some type of stainless steel. They are very, very mildly magnetic. So I'm not sure if they're 301 or 304, but they're definitely some type of stainless steel. And then the final tool that you get is this half diamond pick. And honestly, I couldn't think of a single use for this. I don't use half diamond picks at all, so I never polished this one. I never put a handle on it or anything. Which brings me to the hack. Now I'm going to show you the finish as these come out of the box, so to speak. I mean, they're punched out. They have rough edges on them. I mean, it's typical of what you would expect from a cheap Chinese deal. These things sell for, oh my goodness, let's see. You can get these things, depending on where you go online. You can find them on eBay. Do not go to eBay and spend $9.99 for this kit. That would just be ridiculous. You can also find them on Amazon for $8.50. And if you're feeling really like you want to part with your money, you can go to bondlifestyle.com, where you will find the same exact set. And get ready for it. You can get these for the low price of $39.95, $55 if you want to include the lock picking basics book that comes along with it. Again, do not do that. The place that I have found to get these is a Chinese website, and it's called onlyda.com, and they're sold as the bank, Visa card machine, AMD door locksmith. Whoever comes up with these, I have no idea. $3.50 plus a little bit of shipping on that. I have confirmed with them that theirs are the proper size. They are much more, much better machined than the other ones. So if you're looking to buy those, I'll include some links down below in the description. But basically what we're looking at here is we're looking at a rough piece of stainless steel. Now what I did was I went to thingiverse.com, which is a clearinghouse for 3D printable items. And I found a design for lockpick handles for this particular style of lockpick. And I had a guy 3D print these out. And what I did was actually heated up the picks and then pressed them in so that they would melt their way into the handles. And honestly, even the 3D printing material, you can kind of see it has a texture to it. It makes a really good grip for using this to pick locks. So I took the three that I was going to use most and put them in handles. Now the second thing that I did that has made all the difference in the world is, you can see I started on this one with a little bit of sandpaper. You can see the sanding marks on it. That was just to knock down the rough edges on it. But then I took it a step further, and I went out and I put it on a buffing wheel in my shop. And you can see the difference in the reflectivity of the hook compared to the half diamond. So when you sand off the rough edges, and this has absolutely, these edges are absolutely wonderfully smooth. There's just no roughness to them whatsoever. And then polish them, the amount of feedback that you realize inside a lock is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. In fact, I went in and I polished up all of the picks in my kit. The Sparrows one is not quite as shiny as this one, but I did that to all of them. I fitted them with 3D printed plastic handles, and they work awesome. So that's my hack on the James Bond Top Secret Agent credit card lockpick set. You can take this from somewhat of a novelty to something that's really useful. Honestly, the way these come out of the packet with these tiny little handles on them, they're virtually useless for anything other than an absolute emergency, which I think is probably what they were designed for. They were designed to keep it in your wallet in case you needed it in an emergency situation. I have found that these work really well as a go-to or a bench pick or whatever you would want to use that for. So like I said, I'll put some links in the description below to some resources where you can purchase those if you want to. So now let's move things right along here and go and look at some actual lock picking. I have three items that we're going to work on today. Three different levels of padlock. One of them is a Mountain Security cheap Chinese. You know, this is probably the least expensive padlock that you can get at Walmart or Home Depot or wherever. And then onto a Brinks, which is touted as a high security lock. And then finally, we're going to take a crack at the Master Maximum Security level 9 padlock. And just to see how difficult it is to get into each one of these. So let's get the vise over here and get some things repositioned. And we will take a stab at one of these locks. We'll start with the mountain security. I'll go ahead and get this thing open. Well, we'll open it a little more. That would be helpful. Fresh out of the pack, no point in. Let's move this out of the way so we have a little more room. There we go. And see if we can get this locked down. There we go. And let's see here if we can get a little better focus on that. There we go. We are going to start with, we'll use this tension wrench right here. We're going to start with, let's try to get that focus to lock. How about? There we go. We're going to start with the L rake. Pop it in. Do a little bit of rocking back and forth, and there we go. Unlocked. That's the mountain security cheap China padlock from Walmart. Down in just a matter of seconds. So let's try the Brinks. And get this thing cut open here. It's probably more difficult to get it out of the package than it's going to be to actually get into the lock. Okay, same deal. We'll clamp this one up right here, just like that. Bottom of the keyway tension, and same thing. We'll take the city rake and we'll pop it in there and see a little rocking action. Oops. Helps if you don't knock the tension wrench out. It's a little more difficult to stay in this one. Okay, now let's see what we can get done here. There we go. Open. So that's the Brinks maximum security lock. And this master, I don't even know if there's a reason to take it out of the, I don't even know if there's a reason to take it out of the packaging. Let's pop it right in here and see what we can get done here. Master maximum security level 9. And I think that's a bit misleading. Master's security level on those things is not a reference point for how difficult it is to get into the lock. It's a reference point for how difficult it is to cut into the lock. It doesn't really reference anything to do with pick resistance or anything like that. This one is putting up a little bit of a fight. Typically atypical for a master lock. Maybe I'm not getting in there good. Let's see here. Can we use a smaller one? That might give us a tiny bit more room. Nah. We'll go back to this one. Yeah, that one's being just a little bit difficult. Okay, so let's try something a little bit different. Let's break out our bag of tricks here. And we'll try a real bottom of the keyway tension wrench. And a Bogota from Peterson. And there we go. Open. So with the right tool, none of these locks are really secure. One thing I did want to talk to you guys about is Untitled.com. And some of you are probably familiar and some of you aren't, but we'll take this as an opportunity to kind of let you guys know. One of the reasons that I make these videos is to promote and raise awareness of our hidden gun furniture website, which is Untitled.com. And on the website, we sell a full line of concealment furniture, firearms concealment furniture, or really anything that you would like to have hidden in plain sight. We have full-size sofa tables right now. We also have recently introduced a line of end tables, or not end tables, or I guess you could use it for an end table. Nightstands, end tables, things like that. This one has a pretty unique hidden drawer feature. You turn the knob a quarter turn and it actually gives you access to a very well hidden drawer underneath a drawer. So if you guys are interested at all in concealment furniture, please check us out at Untitled.com. Until next time, hey, this is Jason Collins. God bless you and take care.